Hello students, today we shall discuss on the topic preservation through canning, bottling, freezing, dehydration, drying, ultraviolet and ionization radiation. Introduction. The art of keeping the fruits and vegetables safe without deterioration or developing unpleasant flavor for a reasonably longer time is called preservation. It deals with the prevention of decay or spoilage of food, thus allowing to store in a fit condition for future use. Food preservation has become an increasingly important component of the food industry. Fruits and vegetables are important sources of vitamins, minerals, and dietary fiber. Due to their short shelf life, they perish during harvest, storage, grading, transport, packaging, and distribution. Foods such as fruits and vegetables have a short growing season, and preservation makes them available for use throughout the year and avoids wastage of surplus crops. Hence, fruits and vegetables are processed and preserved into a variety of products. The extent of processing of fruits and vegetables varies from one country to another. The technology for preservation also varies with type of products and targeted market. Food supply has to keep pace with the needs of the population. There is always a shortage of food in a developing country like India because of the demands of the increasing population. Increasing food production to meet this shortage results in wastage due to inadequate facilities for storage and preservation of food. Hence, there is the need for processing and preserving of fruits and vegetables to meet the domestic demand. Preservation through canning. Canning is the process in which foods are placed in jars or cans and heated to a temperature that destroys the microorganisms and inactivates enzymes. This heating and further cooling creates a vacuum seal. The vacuum seal prevents microorganisms from recontaminating the jar food. In 1804, Appert in France invented a process of sealing foods hermetically in containers and sterilizing them by heat. Appert is known as the father of canning. In honor of the inventor, canning is also known as appertizing. Principle and process of canning. Principle. Destruction of spoilage organisms within the sealed containers by means of heat. Process. Selection of fruits and vegetables, grading, washing, peeling, cutting, blanching, cooling, and storage. Containers for packing of canned products. Both tin and glass containers are used in the canning industry, but tin containers are preferred. Tin containers. Tin cans are made of thin steel plate of low carbon content, lightly coated on both sides with thin metal. It is difficult to coat the tin plate uniformly, and during the process of manufacture, small microscopic spots are always left uncoated, although the coating may appear perfect to the eye. The contents of the can may react with these uncoated spots, resulting in discoloration of the product or corrosion of the tin plate. When the corrosion is severe, black stains of iron sulfide are produced. It is necessary, therefore, to coat the inside of the can with some material or lacquer which prevents discoloration but doesn't affect the flavor or wholesomeness of the contents. This process is known as lacquering. Two types of lacquers are used. Number 1, acid resistant. Number 2, sulfur resistant. Glass containers. Glass containers possess two distinct advantages over tin cans. Number 1, the contents being visible can be easily displayed. And number 2, they can be used over and over again and also doesn't contaminate the contents. Hence, such containers are preferred for packing baby food, but being fragile, require extra care during handling and processing. Preservation through bottling. Bottles have proved to be very good containers for home preservation of fruits. Although their initial cost is high, they can be used several times and last for many years if carefully handled. The fruits look attractive through glass and do not develop metallic flavor. Bottling doesn't need a sealing machine. There are many types of glass containers of different shapes and sizes and with various types of hermetic seals. The products remain in a very hygienic condition and do not come in contact with rubber or metal. Cans are cheaper, quite hardy and lighter, and loss due to breakage is less. Hence, on commercial scale, tin cans are preferred to glass jars or bottles. Filling and syruping. The bottles are thoroughly washed and sterilized. The fruit slices are filled, leaving about 3 cm space at the top of the jar or bottle. The sugar syrup, recommended for different fruits, is filled boiling hot, leaving ahead space of 1 to 1.5 cm. Exhausting and sterilization. Separate exhausting of bottles is not required, and it is done simultaneously with sterilization by putting a pad of cloth under the bottles. The bottles should not be abruptly immersed in hot water, otherwise they may break because of sudden rise in temperature. The temperature of water should be about the same as that of the contents and should be raised gradually, and the bottles kept in the boiling water for the required time. At the start of sterilization, the lids are left loose and the level of boiling water should come up to the neck of the bottle. But when sterilization is over, the mouth of the bottles and jars should be immediately closed or corked tightly. After these processes, it will be cooled and stored. Preservation through freezing. Freezing is an effective form of food preservation because the pathogens that cause food spoilage are killed or do not grow very rapidly at reduced temperatures. Freezing fruits and vegetables in season can be of great benefit as they can be made available when they are not in season. For example, freezing of fruits and vegetables in winter when they are cheap and of good quality can be of great use in summer when they are very expensive. A number of factors are involved in the selection of the best approach to the freezing of foods, including the temperature to be used, the rate at which freezing is to take place, and the actual method used to freeze the food. Methods of freezing. There are various methods of freezing. Number 1, sharp freezing or slow freezing. Number 2, quick freezing. Number 3, cryogenic freezing. Number 4, dehydro freezing. Number 5, freeze drying. Suitable vegetables are beans, cauliflower, peas, carrot, etc. Suitable fruits: pineapple slices, mango slices or pulp, guava slices and orange segments, etc. Preservation through dehydration or drying. Drying is one of the most cost-effective ways of preserving foods of all variety, which involves removal of water by application of heat. The term drying and dehydration means removal of water. Drying is done under the influence of non-conventional energy sources like sun and wind. If fruits or vegetables are to be sun-dried, their pieces should be evenly spread in single layer or trays or boards and exposed to the sun. In sun drying, there is no possibility of temperature and humidity control. The hottest days in summer are therefore chosen so that the foods dry very fast, thus preventing them from getting spoiled due to souring. Souring or turning acidic is usually due to growth of microorganisms which convert the carbohydrates in the food to acid. Quick removal of moisture prevents the growth of the microorganisms. Dehydration means the process of removal of moisture by the application of artificial heat under controlled conditions of temperature, humidity, and airflow. In this process, a single layer of fruits or vegetables, whole or cut into pieces or slices, are spread on trays which are placed inside the dehydrator. The initial temperature of the dehydrator is usually 43 degrees centigrade, which is usually increased to 60 to 66 degrees centigrade in case of vegetables and 50 to 71 degrees centigrade for fruits. Advantages of dried or dehydrated foods. Number 1. Dried foods are in more concentrated form than foods preserved in other ways. They are less costly to produce than canned or preserved food because of lower labor cost and because of no sugar is required. Number 2. Due to reduction in bulk of the product, it requires less storage space. Number 3. The weight of the product is reduced to 1/4 to 1/9 its original or fresh weight, and thus the cost of its transport is reduced. Roman number 1. Air convection dryers. Number 1. Kiln dryer. Number 2. Cabinet, tray and pen dryers. Number 3. Tunnel and continuous belt dryer. Number 4. Belt trough dryer. Number 5. Air lift dryer. Number 6. Fluidized bed dryer. Number 7. Spray dryers. Roman number 2. Drum or roller dryers. Roman number 3. Vacuum dryers. Preservation through irradiation. Sterilization of food by ionizing radiations is the latest methods in food preservation. Radiation of food items involves treating certain types of food with ionizing energy or radiation. It is used to destroy bacteria and parasites that cause human illnesses. It can also make food last longer by destroying or inactivating insects, molds, yeast, etc. that spoil food and delay ripening of fruits and vegetables. Radiation processing. Under radiation processing, the food is subjected to radiation by exposing it to a source of ionizing radiation. This ionizing radiation usually is in the form of gamma rays from a source of cobalt-60 or from a non-radioactive source like electron beam generated from electricity. Electron beam technology doesn't require the use of radioactive source material and can be tuned on and off. The gamma rays are similar to ultraviolet light or microwaves, but of much shorter wavelength and greater energy. In radiation of food, gamma rays pass through the food the same way microwaves pass through the food, but the food remains cool. Through radiation, the genetic material of the contaminating organism is damaged so that they can no longer survive or multiply. When gamma rays or electron beams pass through the foods, there are collisions between the ionizing radiation and food particles at atomic and molecular levels, resulting in the production of ion pairs and free radicals. The reaction of these products among themselves and with other molecules results in physical and chemical phenomena which inactivate microorganisms in the food. Thus, irradiation of food can be considered to be a method of cold sterilization. That is, food is free of microorganisms without high temperature treatment. Ionizing radiations can be used for sterilization of foods in hermetically sealed packs, reduction of the spoilage organisms in the perishable foods, delays ripening of fruits, inhibits sprouting of root vegetables, and controls insect infestation in stored cereals. Conclusion. Fruits and vegetables are an important supplement to the human diet as they provide the essential minerals, vitamins, and fiber required for maintaining health. With the utilization of new and improved technologies, self-reliance in fruits and vegetables production is being observed, but they are not fully utilized, and thus high percentages of foods are being wasted. Hence, due to lack of adequate post-harvest handling, processing, and infrastructure facilities, post-harvest losses caused by spoilage are very high. Today, food preservation is very important to fulfill the food supply needs of a developing country like India. It also ensures that the food is available and its supply is maintained at all times, and also problems like food shortage or famine can also be avoided. Therefore, fruits and vegetables should be preserved to take care of the excess produce, to add variety to our meals, to reach areas where the food item is not grown, to make transportation and storage of foods easier. Thank you.